Good morning. Good morning. The Quackers is here. Good morning. Good morning. You're going to be vibing with me again today with some chill beats, some nerdy video game gameplay. Today we're going to watch something a little bit more interesting. It's a video game about growing marijuana. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm feeling super chill and today feels like it's going to be awesome. But before we do that, listen to this chill music over arguments. You see how when you put the chill music over an argument, it kind of make it sound like poetry, you know what I mean? You see, even when we speak to each other with malice, if we put a beat on it, black people are so rhythmic, it just sounds natural, you know what I mean? But we're not gonna do too much of that. I just thought it sounded cool if you put an argument over beat. If black people are arguing, it just sounds like we rapping. Doesn't that make us special people? I don't know. But I'm gonna play some gameplay of a game where you grow and you sell weed. And I'm gonna play some dope music behind it. I fuck with y'all.
Hello, YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Pinstar Plays Weedcraft Incorporated. So, it just so happens I was at PAX East 2019, and of the many games I surveyed, one that caught my eyes was the Devolver Digital booth. And they had a couple of games for offer, but this was one of them, a tycoon game involving weed. So, you know what? And it also just so happens that they lobbed me an early press key, so thank you very much. So let's dive into this. Bit of a controversial topic, but you know what? I like the way the game handles it. There's a little tongue-in-cheek, stoner humor in there, but they don't make it into a farce. They actually present some of the topical and realistic dilemmas, questions, ethical, legal, and what have you, surrounding weed in our modern era. So let's dive in. That being said, it is a competent tycoon game. It's not just a preaching game in the guise of that. So let's do that. All right, so my embargo says that I must stick with the growing up scenario. There is one other one, the highs and lows scenario, but we are going to do growing up. It's also your stock standard tutorial scenario as well. It also sets the tone as well. So let's dive in. Right there, our stoner brother, Clyde here. As you can see, he's not terribly. He doesn't think highly of. this proposal to you. Let me guess, it involves smoking a bunch of weed. Change the verb and you got it. I like Clyde. He is a stoner, but he's got priorities. So this early part is more of the tutorial, and you know what? I'll take you guys with it, since you guys haven't probably played this game yet, because it's not out yet. A better alternative than opioids and benzos. Opioids? Dad was using opioids? The doctors prescribed him Percocet and Oxy for the pain. They screwed up his digestion and his tolerance kept climbing. A few months in, and he was the shell of the man he used to be. That's why I started growing. Come on, with your head for commerce and mine for the shady side of the street, we could own this town's weed market. It's about to start a new batch. Let me show you how it works. We want to keep the lights on here. We're going to need a whole lot of weed. All right, so in order to grow, basic science tells you need a source of light. And since weed is illegal and therefore underground, quote unquote, we need some artificial lighting here. We got one strain here, and strains are going to be a very important thing here. Reggie, or reggae. Now, I am not enough of a weed head to know if this is actually a real strain of weed or if it's actually just a fictional one. But luckily, it lets you save this configuration. All we have is one plant and one type of soil, so we can just copy paste it along here. We'll start our growing here, and let us goose the time here. So you can water your plants and you can tease them for growth here. Watering helps keep the quality up to an extent. This is, first off, at first I was looking at this and I thought, is this like a cell phone clicker game? It's not. This is a little bit of busy work that the game tasks you with in the very early game, but there are ways for you to automate all this stuff so that you're not clicking the entire game here. And the game kind of it has structures and mechanics to automate this, and it's kind of meant to do that way. So early game, yeah, you're getting your hands dirty, literally, and getting in here to grow your own stuff. So an orphan at 24 with half an MBA to our name. Well, still not bad. That implies a bachelor's degree at the very least, but let's see where this takes us. All right, harvest is in. Time to trade all this green for some green. Let's do it. Let's light this candle. Don't worry, I talked to my homies down at the marketplace. It's safe there, and they'll set you up without any other problems. We can sell some weed. We'll be on our way to a real business. I'm just going to wait for this last plant to come to finish up. Oh, by the way, training the plants makes them grow a little bit faster. So it's useful to do to get your harvest just a little bit faster. All right, so while those cook, we'll set up here at the marketplace. So we are now officially, well, not quite. We have to say, all right, so we set up one slot to sell. We are selling a Reggie for 8. And you can see our groups up here. So there's, at the market, there are vagrants, regular Joes, and jocks. Well, Reggie is kind of crap. And vagrants can't really afford very much for some reason. So their price threshold's 8. Now you can go above the price threshold. That's actually perfectly fine. They'll like it a little bit less, but you can still milk them for a little bit extra. So you know what? Bums, it's $9 for you. Sorry guys, they'll still buy it. Reggie is fine, but the quality really sucks. The price is kind of high, though. So what I'm saying is I want to give you $864 worth. And it looks like the regular Joes are interested as well. Now, the vagrants are into this stuff. Reggie has stuff that they like. So if we look at their tastes here, So what do vagrants like? They want weed that has an earthy flavor and has pain relief properties. Now, our Reggie doesn't have any pain-killing properties. It's not that good, but it happens to have an earthy flavor. So they like the flavor of the stuff. It's garbage, but it's good tasting garbage for them. So they're willing to actually pay some green for it. All right, let's go back in here. I'm going to keep the speed on medium. Keep our plants a watering and a training. The game will let me know once the vagrants are back for more weed. They hit once a month or so. Yep. I'll take the Reggie. Oh, polite vagrants. Very polite. All right. Well, we sold 150 grams of the stuff at $9 a gram. And yeah, we keep on keeping on, and we got a new strain, Super Lemon Haze. Ooh, lemony fresh. You can probably mop the floors with this stuff too. So this one has completely different properties. So it's got a citrusy flavor. Every strain of weed has a flavor to it. So this one is citrusy. It also has the properties of arousal, happiness, and anti-depression. I'm guessing this makes you less sad. This makes you happier than just normal happy, I guess. So it puts a smile on your face no matter how down in the dumps you are. All right, we're going to Simple Good. Let's beat Bumps. He's been selling weed longer than anyone can remember. What's good, my guys? Your product is decent? No, it's not. It's crap. You got to get it to the right people. I can teach you to understand your customers. Let's do it. The vagrants down the marketplace are fine with your Reggie, but the jocks are more picky. Got to give them some choice. Demographics and market demands. Now that I understand. Unfortunately, all I can grow is Reggie right now. Man, you guys are amateurs. Listen, here's some Super Lemon Haze seeds. Don't say I never gave you nothing. Now let's get to it. There's a beach chair in the Caribbean with my name in it. All right, so we can expand our grow operation here. So now we've got twice the pots here. Let's slow things down a little bit here. So we're going to want to set up here Super Lemon Haze. Still poor soil. That's the only choice we got at the moment. This becomes a lot more complex as we get deeper in here. Promise. So we've got the Super Lemon Haze. Let's copy pasta. Perfect. Oh yeah, lights. Derp to derp. Can't grow without the lights. Now we got 6 plants to manually 10. We're still not quite going for high quality here. I mean, we're still dealing with crappy soil, and we don't really have good conditions for it either. We don't have the means to make conditions better, but we'll be getting to that very soon. This is an interesting dynamic, and one that I really, really freaking like. Like, I think it's really compelling the way they do it. So yeah, each plant can only be watered and trained so many times during their growth, but we might as well because there's nothing else for us. We don't have any more customers coming at the moment because we're out of Reggie here, so we've got no product to sell at the moment. So we will just keep on doing our thing while we wait for these to become mature. They all grow up so quickly. Yep. Yeah, if you hold it for too long, then the training doesn't go quite as well. So minor risk and reward, but it's still not too bad. It's worth doing the time if you have the extra time to click on them and make that happen. All right, we got people wanting to buy our stuff. And also selling here is also something that can be automated, which we'll get to shortly, so you don't have to go there and personally sell every single time. But we're building up an appreciable amount of cash. Again, we're not going to get rich on Reggie here. All right, and we're out. There's a lot of demand there. The thing with vagrants is they are not picky. They don't have much money at all, but there are a lot of vagrants there. So the demand is going to be high, and you can move a lot of volume. One of the there's a couple of different approaches you can go to this game in terms of how you sort of angle your business and how you focus on things. You can go for quantity, just tons and tons of cheap garbage that you push to everybody, and quality, which is just allows you to if you focus on making something really good, you can sell it to some people who have more cash to pay for the good stuff. All right, so we've got our Super Lemon Haze harvested here. Let me just finish up with the tending here. All right. Oh yeah, we have to buy a second spot because you need a spot for each product that you sell. So we have that. And Super Lemon Haze, we want to goose it to, oh, for Pete's sake. Let's do 19, because the jocks can, they can afford 9. In fact, you know what? We can push them to 20. $1 more. Jocks want to buy your product. So we're getting a lot more money per gram for that stuff. Now, there's 2 groups of vagrants here, only 1 group of jocks, so there's not quite the volume, but the jocks kind of want something better, but they're willing to pony up the dough. Are you the famous broccoli purveyor? Broccoli. Right then. Oh yeah, I did not mean to buy that 3rd dealer spot. What are you going to refund on that? All right, we sold 50 grams of the Super Lemon Haze. Now we just got to build our cash reserves up to 7,500. Oops, something's ready. And you know what? Just because it's so much more profitable, I'm just going to replace these with Super Lemon Haze as well. Reggie is really, really kind of garbage. And the jocks, even though there's only 1 group of them, the jocks will... turn through this volume quickly enough. So we might as well get paid the bigger bucks for it all. I mean, we'll sell the Reggie that we got. No sense in doing that. I'm only buying it because it's cheap. I hate it, and the quality is garbage. I'm thinking that says something about... oh, it's on sale. I hate it. I don't need it. I don't want it. It's my least favorite type of weed. It's on sale. It's cheap. Yeah, I know Reggie has worn out and is introduced. Yeah, I know they want to get the last remnants of this stuff. Well, you guys can wait. Cool your heels. It's the final edition of the Reggie, so you guys can sit around and wait. From what I can tell, there's no ill effects of making them wait for it, other than it just takes longer for you to get the next time they want it. So if you're trying to do high volume, you want to get to them as quickly as possible. All right, we'll sell the last to you. And our first round of Super Lemon Haze. While we're at it, let's just take Reggie off the market because I'd rather have the profitable stuff. Give me those big bucks. I like big bucks, and I do not lie. All right, we're still on medium speed. Excellent. Things become a little bit more dynamic, actually a lot more dynamic and interesting as we progress through the scenario here and start unlocking some of the deeper and deeper, some of the text and some of the minutia here that we'll be getting into very shortly. If all the game was just clicking and selling, yeah, that's not a compelling one. But there's a lot of detail here, a lot of detail to be had. All right, let's keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Get those waterings going. I mean, for a low quality product, you technically, oh, hi there. These things are actually doing just fine. Let me just drop some water on you guys real quick. We plant you real quick and go tend to our friends, the jocks. All right, $7,500. All right, $250 for that. So now there's a couple new strains, but we have to decide if we want to buy them. So Northern Lights has an earthy flavor like our Reggie, but it's also got the spacing out quality and pain relief. So if we really wanted to tailor to the vagrants, this would be our strain. The vagrants would love it. This is exactly what the vagrants want. I mean, they don't care about the spacing out, but they won't rate it lower because it has an extra property. They just like the earthy flavor and they like the pain relief part of it. Or we could also buy Granddaddy Purple, which has a sweet flavor to it, also has the spacing out property, also has the pain relief property, and also has the relaxed body property. So this one a little bit more dynamic. It's also a bit more expensive to buy the strain. I mean, we have the option to buy those whenever we want. So we can pick those up when we're good and ready for it. I'm not quite good and ready for it yet. We're on the streets at Sean's bunch is slowly lurking in and around the city. They might soon decide to start selling in our backyard. Be sure to blow them away on quality. advise us, please. You never move any flour if those guys will be selling better stuff right next to you. You gotta get your stash up to uncommon quality at least. That should do the trick. Okay. So, now we can start getting into quality control. And I like this system because you need to do some experimentation and you need to tailor your growing spaces a little bit. So right now, our Super Lemon Haze, yes, we're using the poor soil, but within that soil, we can determine what nutrients there are. There are 3 nutrients to worry about: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium here. Now, by themselves, there is a correct number for each of these, and it's different for every strain. And right off the bat, you do not know what those numbers are, so you need to experiment a little bit. Now, they gave us a little bit of a freebie with Super Lemon Haze here. He told us that the correct number for nitrogen is 7, and the correct number for phosphorus is 1. So we're going to apply that to all of those. But he said, I never quite got the potassium level. So it's up to us to figure out the best potassium levels. Now, what I like to do is I like to use 3 plants as sort of my experimental guinea pigs. I set 1 to a 5, which is right in the middle. I'm going to take 1 and I'm going to bring it down to a 2. And I'm going to take 1 and bring it up to a 9. And watch what we do here. What's these? You get an idea of how good the conditions are when you water. So 9 out of 15. Remember when we were watering this earlier and it was 5 out of 15, 6 out of 15? That tells you how good the conditions are and therefore how much of an increase in quality you're going to get. So 9 out of 15 is much better, but that's also probably because we got these 2 numbers correct. Let's look at this one. 11 out of 15. 9 out of 15. So we know that the better number here is a 2. Now, we don't know if that's the optimal number or not, because we only took 3 guesses. So now that we know that it's in the neighborhood of 2, it might be 2. 2 might be the right number. We're gonna sort of scattershot around 2. So we're gonna make you a 1. We're gonna make you a 3. We're gonna make you a 4. And then on the next watering, we'll get another bit of feedback as to how good our guess was. All right, let's go 10 to the jocks because we do need to move our product here. All right, let's sniff these. That'll make the water come due. All right, 10 out of 15, not as good as 11. 10 out of 15, not as good as 11. And 10 out of 15. So we were actually right the first time with 2. 2 is the correct answer here. Now when we apply this to everything, now we're going to be rocking out some much better Super Lemon Haze here. Estimated quality, uncommon. That's what we like. And it'll only get better from here. Now, these plants probably won't be so high because we were watering them under the less than perfect conditions here. So let's just crank up the speed a little bit. Now, there's 2 other components that will lend themselves to better things. That's humidity and temperature, which we will get into a little bit later. At the moment, we do not have the tools at our disposal to optimize those, but you can get real deep into it. Now, fussing over all of those conditions can take a lot of money, time, effort, and what have you, but can give you a better product. That being said, you can also narrow your focus. If you want to just go for raw quantity and you don't care about quality, you can get a lot more volume out of some of the other options here. So this stuff is going to be kind of garbage. I think we're only sitting at common level quality, and the jocks don't really care for that. The jocks actually have a higher standard. They want rare level quality. Compare that to the vagrants, who really don't give a crap how good their stuff is. They want to just smoke anything, but they also only have $8 compared to the $19 that the jocks are packing. Or rather, they can pack more than just the 19. Now, since we've got more cash and we've got a little more room here, let's up our throughput here at a new spot. Now, I could do more Reggie. We could do the same kind of experimentation on Reggie. I don't know why we would, just because, there's a lot, we're still going to get a lot more throughput. But then again, it'll help us clear our stocks a little bit faster. So maybe I won't begrudge. We've got the second spot anyway, so, we can do, maybe we can make Reggie not quite so garbage. No, more Super Lemon Haze, because we already know the optimal stuff for that. Oh, derp. There we go. Save setup, and it'll copy over the soil conditions over to them as well. Oh yes, another light. Can't forget the light. What's my new mission? Oh yeah, tweak the potassium level. So as soon as we get to harvest time with some of these, we'll be able to fulfill our mission and continue on our quest. And every time we beat one of these missions and sub things, it'll open up more tools for us to update and manage everything here. And like I said, it gets, right now we've kind of been spoon-fed a little bit of everything. Like, we were given a strain that happens to be good at the target market in the area that we're already kind of selling at. Once, as the game progresses, you're not going to be spoon-fed these perfect strain and market pairings. It's going to be up to you to find the markets. So that's where it gets real interesting here. All right. We still got our 3 underground rows churning away. Let's clip these to get them stinkified here. Oh yeah, now we're at uncommon level, so that's good enough for the quest. Sell 150 grams of super lemon haze of this common quality. Easily done. Also, when you harvest strains of different things, it averages the quality rating. So we've got a little garbage in here, but you can see the bar on the common is a little bit higher. And as we sell out of the lower quality junk, then the average quality of our product will eventually crush into the next threshold, and that'll impact demand. Because as we get closer to the jock's demanded level, they'll want the product more. Right now, the fact that we're not meeting their expectations is putting a slight damper on sales. Every time the jocks show up to buy, they're not buying as many grams. But as our attractiveness rating, as the star rating goes up, then right now they're at a 1.5 star rating and they want to buy 36 grams. I think it's 12 grams per half star. So as you increase the star rating with them, as your product becomes more and more attractive, you're going to get more and more quantity purchased every time they show up to buy stuff. And as you can see here, we're actually making a little bit more than we can really move here. Not a whole ton more, but I have a feeling that once our star rating goes up, once we sell out of our common junk and get into uncommon and maybe rare level stuff, then we'll be in good shape. Yes, I can also increase the star rating by lowering the price, but I want money. I like money. All right. Get our watering on, and yeah, let's just clean up everything here. This becomes a lot easier once we get employees to help us out. Although there is merit in the game to doing some of the tending to yourself. That's not. I mean, you can stop doing this altogether fairly early on if you don't want to be bothered. But sometimes having the personal touch, you can tend stuff faster than your employees can, at least until your employees become much higher level. How's our quality? We're still sitting on common. I think we're just gonna wait till we sell out of everything, or just get some better stuff in. Let's crank the speed a little bit. We'll sell more stuff. All right, well, we got that. All right, a little more cash. Simple soil, new growing medium soil. So instead of that crappy soil, we now have simple soil, which actually gives us a 10% quality bonus. Now it costs us a little bit more per thing here, but it's better than the simple stuff. Well, it happened. Sean and his boys are here. They took hold of the marketplace pretty tight. Good thing we're prepared. How's the weed Clyde show again? It's good, but you can't get rid of pesky rivals for good price alone. Might work on some lowly dealers, but Sean knows the game. Playfully, you do too. You gotta get down and listen. A couple ways to deal with competition. So yeah, you can either increase your quality or lower your price, or do some shadier things to get rid of them. So essentially, and this is an argument for why you might want Reggie, is the more volume you move, the more you hurt your competition. Basically, every sale you make hurts them, but they also regenerate their health, quote unquote, as time goes on. So if you're only moving a little bit of stuff, they're going to stick around and get stronger. But if you're diligent about that, yeah. So one thing we can do is we can get better soil in here. So that's simple soil. Replace that. So now we just drag this on everything else. We can even swap out for the soil. Got plenty of cash to do this today. We could do one round of Reggie here. I'm gonna keep everything else super lemon haze though. Just upgrade the rest of the pots. Estimated quality, rare. Look at that. So now we're actually on target to produce some stuff that is good enough for the jocks' tastes. So that will just continuously increase the star quality here. Now, as far as competition at your place, I mean, they do compete with you for sales of the stuff, but that doesn't stop people from coming to you. See how we're getting less. That's because they're only buying 26 grams from us. The rest of the stuff that they would have bought from us is being poached by the other two offerings of Sean's bunch. And as you can see, ODN is a higher star level there, so that's actually getting a fairly high amount of revenue there. So we can do a couple of things. We can wait for the quality to bump itself up, but it'll take a little while to trickle in. We can also drop the price. And it wants us to drop the price here to where it has a 3.5 star. So let's drop you to $16. And yeah, now the regular Joes are in on some super lemon haze action. They don't really like it, but it's cheap. All right, got you. Didn't need to do the snipping there. Fair enough. All right, yeah, and we definitely want to keep up with our selling thing here. So now we've got full stuff on there. So we got a lot more grams sold. And even though they're beating us a little bit with the in the eyes of the regular Joes, I'm not really targeting the super lemon haze towards the regular Joes. Oh yeah, let's put Reggie back on the market. Yeah, you know, yeah, he's not offering anything to the vagrants, so we can kind of gouge him a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, we're still number one on there. They're almost dead out of the market anyway. I think I'm just going to do the one round of Reggie here. I'm not even going to bother trying to get the quality up because the bums don't care. They really don't care. I mean, they care a little bit. I mean, there is a little uptick in quality if you beat their expectations, but for the bums, it's like minimal. Like they really could care less about how flavorful their weed is. I mean, they like the earthy flavor, so yes, they like the taste of the dirt. I don't like it, but I'm buying it anyway. All right, as you can see, the bar is going down every single time. Every single time that we sell something, that bar goes down. So that makes it more and more attractive to us and makes them weaker and weaker until we will eventually drive them out of the market. As far as I can tell, the rivals don't follow like the exact mechanics. Like it doesn't track your rivals' exact plant production and stuff like that. It kind of generalizes them, but it's fairly fair. You know, you can, and there's actually a couple of different approaches you can do. You can fight off your rivals like we are right now. You can sort of scare them off. You can get them booted. All right, there we go. And now we got to get the thing up to 3.5 stars. We're at uncommon rating. I think we'll go up to rare, and that'll increase our star rating once we harvest this. There it is. That bumped us up to rare, so it's good. All right. And now we can get into temperature manipulation with a small fan. You also get some better lighting. Now, there's a trade-off to some of these different lights. Everything has a little bit of a property. Let me get my botany on. Yeah, lighting, humidity, and temperature. I am all in. Also, this is, I think, when we can start the hiring people. So now we can upgrade our lights. Now, one of the primary things of lights, obviously, you need a light to grow, but how much yield you get depends primarily on the light. Right now, we will get 50 grams of weed per fully mature plant. You can also see that the light here costs us nothing per month. It's dirt cheap. Raises the ambient temperature by 1 degree and adds +2 to the police vigilance. Now, if we go down to the Supermarket room lamp, now we can see we're going to be getting 60 grams per plant. Now, it is going to cost us $25 per month per light. So the increase in performance comes at a cost. Now, these lights are actually a little bit more temperature efficient. They don't put out any heat, but also the cops are a little bit warier of them. So increased police vigilance. We're going to go into police vigilance very soon. But it's still worth it because the yield alone is good. So we'll get you, and we'll get you. And you want a small fan? So yes, the placing equipment takes up spots for growing. So the more equipment you put in your area, the more support equipment, I should say, the less space you have for growing. That being said, this equipment will help because it gives you the ability to play with the temperature slider here. So we have replaced that plot with a fan, just a simple fan, and now we can play with the temperature. Now it's feeding me the 69 degrees. That is actually the ideal temperature for Super Lemon Haze. So we were previously growing at an unideal temperature, and that caused the quality to suffer a little bit. So by putting in this fan and also having the perfect soil, we are increasing the quality even better. You can get to that star level quality by having all conditions correct, but even then it's going to be hard to get to the final legendary quality. You need a little extra oomph to be able to hit that. I actually haven't hit that yet in the game. Oh yeah, let's go back to the marketplace because we don't want to be giving this stuff away. We need to go back up in price. All right, Super Lemon Haze, you're going back up to $20. In fact, part of me wants to go even higher here. Yeah, because we're still at a 2-star rating at $22 with the jocks because our quality keeps going up. So let's just bring in more cash, more dough. We have a lot of plans because right now we're just in one location, well, 2 locations. We're growing in one, we're selling in another. We've got lands, I tell you. But we're just waiting to unlock the appropriate equipment to be able to act on those plans. Yeah, it got expensive, but deal with it. You're willing to pay it. Now they're not buying as much, but they're buying me out here, so that's good enough for me. And we actually sold out of all of our Super Lemon Haze, so we got to get more of it. This Reggie is turning out to be a bad investment because we already drove the competition out. But we might as well harvest it and sell it to the vagrants while we're at it. I am, however, going to be replacing you with Super Lemon Haze. But waste not, want not, and all that. All right, more Super Lemon Haze. Grow, and let's go talk to the vagrants. A bit better now. Well, I did grow it in real soil. Wow. The jocks actually want to buy a little of the Reggie because it's that cheap compared to their price point. Because again, $11 Reggie is insanely expensive to a vagrant, but to a jock, that's chump change. It's bargain basement. This garbage is really overpriced, and yet you're buying it, dude. And yet you buy it. Guys, I'm not growing this crap anymore because you guys don't quite have the funds for it. I mean, there are mechanics in the game where if you really wanted to go and like be a sort of a slumlord and actually build your empire on the backs of vagrants and other low, high quantity, low quality stuff, you could absolutely do it. It is a viable option. It's not necessarily the way I want to do it, but it's certainly there, and I appreciate the fact that the mechanics are able to support the multiple methods here. All right, what's our deal here? Oh, hire an employee. I should be doing that. Instead of sitting here and clicking like a foo, let's make somebody else do our dirty work. So our employees, let's see what we got here. So employees have 3 key skills. You got growing, selling, and shady stuff. I'm gonna start with a seller who's also decent at shady stuff, just because it kind of helps us out. And he's cheap enough. We're still good doing the growing ourselves. Once we expand our grow operations, we're gonna want someone who's good with the plants. And then I'm going to have you go here, and yeah, we'll have you help with the plants, just to keep you busy. All right, so we have just leveled up. Now this is a mechanic that actually, I mean, it's completely different, but it reminds me of the you have 2 levels. You have your shady level and your decent level, and that's sort of like your legal above the table level of business acumen versus your underworld street smarts. And you can start buying perks. We also got a small air purifier, which reduces police vigilance. It kind of takes the stink of the weed out of the air so people stop complaining about it. And the Supermart HID gives us yields of 90. That's up from the 60, but puts out a whopping 4-degree increase in temperature per light and cranks up the police vigilance by 10. These things are a lot more noticeable because you're drawing so much freakish power. I'm sure brownouts in the buildings are more strains available for purchase. Maui Wowie and Holy Wowie. This one's got a lot going for it. So we got tropical flavors, focus, giggliness. These 2 seem slightly opposed, but hey, I'll take it. Energy and higher libido. So you can. I can. I can feel like college students liking this stuff. It's also really expensive, though. Whoa! It's the policeman. Don't arrest me, Mr. Policeman. Yes, officer. I know what's going on in there. You have people coming in and out there, and it smells like someone ran over a skunk. A citrus-flavored skunk. Oh, I hope not. Oh no, I love skunks. I wouldn't push my luck if I were you. In fact, I'd take some action if you catch my drift. Find a way to lower your profile unless you want to see a whole lot more of me. Is that the cops? Yeah, I handled it. He handled it for now, but that visit makes me think that Commissioner Francis still haunts the town, even if he's in New York now. Now what? If we want to do this long term, we're going to need to work on lowering our profile. Excuse me. So now, the fact that we are an illegal underground weed operation is now, the whole underground illegal part is now becoming important to us. So now we kind of keep a low profile. This is where the police things here comes in mind here. So first thing is, it's telling us to buy a perk. It's instructing us on a perk that we must purchase. And it wants us to buy the Police Veterans Donation. All police officers will have a higher relationship upon being introduced. Because there's a couple of different ways to deal with the cops. I mean, you can try and hide yourself completely, or you can just have them look the other way if you befriend them. This helps with the befriending way. We also have a point to spend on the decent side here, but right now there's nothing I want. As your level increases, how deep you can go into the tree increases. So I'm kind of saving my decent point for that. So we'll just hold on to it for now. All right, so now there's a few more things that we can do to keep the cops. We can set up a front business in our home, get that air purifier in our grow, and lower the police vigilance here. So we got the cash here to set up a front business here. So instead of setting up another grow activity here, you can also sell to the locals here at the house, but we're going to set up a front business. We got a tea room, which doesn't bring anybody new, or at least nobody who wants to buy weed. They're there for the other kind of leads. Pizza restaurant will bring us students. So if we also set up a dealer's corner, we could then start selling to students. And then the game studio will bring the hipsters, but it's also freakishly expensive. So we're going to just do the tea room. Bada boom, bada bing. Now, one of the things with the tea room here in any front business is you need to work it from time to time to continuously lower your police level here. So, but we can have our employee do this. And that's kind of the reason I did that. So we're going to have you, when the time comes, work the tea room to make it actually look like a legitimate business here. Right then. So, we are here. Now, the other thing it wants us to do is is get a air purifier here. That's another piece of equipment, much like the fan here. Now you can see the employee here is helping out here. I'm not really having him do all of the the gardening here because that's not really what I hired him for. But if he's busy doing this, it'll help him gain skill points faster. And look at that, we're 15 out of 15 on our stuff here. Now that we have the right temperature, it just so happens that the humidity is perfect. And he screwed that up. I might not have him do that, actually. I'd prefer him not touching my plants. He's better at other stuff, so we'll tell you, no plants, please. No that. So the plants are still on it. See how he, we had customers appear and he went and sold to them. We get the same amount for it. It takes him a little time for it, but that way we don't have to keep clicking on them. And now we have this police thing here. So watch this. Bink, and it lops 50 off the top, and that keeps spawning. So the front business is a gift that keeps on giving when it comes to lowering your police presence. Now our police presence goes up every time we harvest weed because of the stench, but that kind of helps keep it in check. But also the air purifier is another thing that is meant to keep that in check as well. Those clips so they're growing faster. Basically, I'm going to replace one of these with the air purifier. I long term, I don't really think I need it because the front business actually does enough police, stuff to help. But there's one more thing we can do to help keep the heat off of us, and that's actually talk to the officer. Let's befriend him. So we can see here. Here's the police station. There are two officers that patrol this part of the town, and you can see which ones they cover. And then there's the police chief. Now this is an interesting dichotomy. I'll explain it in a minute. First, let's talk to Steve Polanski. So here, this is like a little mini game where we're trying to make friends here. Now you can raise your stuff here with chatting, and chatting just helps your relationship go up a little bit. As you do your chats, you have a chance of uncovering deeper topics, which allow you to do more chats. If you just keep chatting, eventually they'll get bored and they'll stop talking to you, and your relationship will lower. I found that you can do three chats here, and yeah, it's kind of random about what you're saying. So now we're up to familiar. So let's talk about other stuff. So we have a couple of topics here, but as you probe these extra topics, they might reveal more. So he doesn't like talking about business, education, and not that. Family? All right, family is very important to him. Excellent. So unfortunately, that didn't create a new thing. Can I try family again? All right, good. You can risk it asking about a topic twice, but I wouldn't do it more than twice. But now we got new info. His father worked in the citizens' militia in communist Poland. So now we can ask about his father from Poland. And this is a fresh topic, so he won't get bored of us asking about that. All right, now he's friendly with us. Now that he's friendly, we can make use. Also, you can do tell me about yourself. This is sort of a chance. Like you have a chance of him saying, yeah, getting good, but also have a chance of just him saying, nah, and lowering your relationship. So we're going to stay away from that. But I need to ask you a favor. Why don't you turn a blind eye to my activities? Do it as a friend. And yes, you can bribe the cops, or you can dig up dirt on them and blackmail them into doing what you please. Lots of different approaches. We happen to befriend him. And by the way, it's not this easy to befriend everybody. I've noticed that certain characters have different sort of friendship hit points, and how many positive interactions you have to do with them to become fully friendly with them is a lot more. So yeah, the game kind of threw this easy cop at us here in our starter location, but as we go on, doing this course of action is not necessarily going to be quite this easy. Hear me out. Sure, I'll be happy to help. So he will not bother us at the family home, shady neighborhood, or marketplace anymore. So now we don't really need to worry about keeping our profile low because he's not gonna bother us. Now that's true and not true, because the other thing I've noticed is that even if he's turning a blind eye to us and not snitching on us and bothering us with our operations, the police chief becomes aware of sort of the general heat level being generated at each of the spots. And if the marketplace is smoking more than a tire fire, then the police chief is going to start catching wind of that, even if the cop is not going to start telling on us. So there might be negative things if we go too crazy, even with that blind eye agreement in place. So it's an interesting thing. It's not a hard cap. It is a decidedly soft cap. So what else? Oh yeah, the air purifier. We just need to harvest one more thing here. Get that in there. I'm going to replace it right back with the plants because I don't think I need it. But I do need to fulfill the mission. If only just to keep the goodies going. Right, this should get us, yes. Beautiful. All right, so let's get you a purifier. And yeah, vigilance is already low. And it's grayed out because of that agreement. All right, we got our mission done. Supermart help. This is for more high volume grows. Supermart LED. Good for a, it's sort of a middle of the road. So it only raises the temperature by 2, only raises the vigilance by 3, but produces 75 reds as opposed to 60. So it's a good thing. It's also a little bit more expensive. We also got peat moss, a new type of thing. Now we can actually start playing with the humidity. If we needed to reduce the humidity in the room and we grew with peat moss, it would actually suck a little extra excess moisture out of the air. It also grows a little bit faster. Normal stuff is 4 months. This only takes 3.8. Oh, smokes, Valhalla's Rejects got a new strain. This stuff is, wow, you need this in your inventory. All right, let's grow it. Not so fast. They're trucking it in from high-security grow operations in California. No way we'll score clones out here unless we do a little corporate espionage. You try befriending them, or we could just steal it. What do you think? I'm liking the befriend game, at least early on. It might not be an option, but let's see if we can buddy up and get some of his strain. All right, I'm gonna go right the heck back to some Super Lemon Haze here, and I think I want to upgrade to the Supermart LED. The Supermart HID, it's gonna start cooking our plants if we convert all of those over. But I think we can handle the +2 heat. The fan can compensate for a number of for a certain amount here. All right, we can go down to 70 instead of 69. So we're one temperature over. You know what? I think that's fine. We're not going to be rocking perfect stuff, but sometimes a little tiny hit in quality isn't enough to drop you below a threshold. So I'm banking on that. So let's see who our competition is. Big Bad John is the owner of this strain that we got here. Let's talk to Mr. Big Bad John. Because yeah, you can befriend your competition here. And poach my customers, and it'll be the last mistake you make. Well, we're not technically directly poaching yours. We're just trying to poach your stash. But same kind of minigame. But this guy's a little bit tougher to win over. So we can get our 3 free chats in here. Except for cucumbers. I just lose my shit like the cats on the internet. Yeah, this game is pretty current with its memes and whatnot. All right, I don't want to keep doing chats because he's going to get bored. So let's see if we can't get any freebies from here. Business? All right, he's interested in business. Fortunately, that doesn't open more topics, but he likes talking about it at least. He smoked pot in college. Okay, so he doesn't really care about education, but he did smoke in college. Yeah, reminiscing about times in college. Let's check your family. Family is very important to him. All right, we're so close. I'm going to risk a tell me about yourself to see if we can't push us over to friendly here. All right, he liked it, and we got a free topic out of it, politics. We might as well get that free topic. All right, and he's friendly. So now let's see if we can get a favor out of him. Give me one of your strains as a friend, buddy, old pal. Help a new guy out. Help a new guy out. Hear me out. Sure, I'll be happy to help. Have some seeds. Now, it's kind of random which one he gives you, but they're all kind of powerful. Tropical Bliss. Let's take a look. So now this one looks a little bit underwhelming, but there's a specific group that really likes this stuff. Tropical flavor and carefreeness. Competition is gas in the young entrepreneur's tank, but if you're not careful, it's attached to a lit rag. So we got $20,000 to play with, and we leveled up our decent influence, so we can now start taking some perks on that side of the house. So what are we going to take? What are we going to do with this huge influx of cash? What are we going to do with this small room humidifier that looks exactly like the one I got for my kids when they were infants to help them sleep? Everyone's on the list. We also got some better lights. 95. Looking good. DIY hydro systems, not as much, but faster growing time. Space Queen, a new strain here. Nice work so far. Time to kick it in high. Yeah. If we can dominate Cleveland's overall weed market, we'll have enough money to expand to another city. Hopefully someplace we can operate a little easier than the Sweatbox. All right. So, in our next episode, we start. The game has now opened itself up to us nicely, and we can start pursuing a strategy. Like I said before, we've been spoon-fed the strains and which customers we want to go for, but now it's up to us to make the conscious decision of how are we going to expand. Because we can just sit here and keep pushing super lemon haze down the throats of the jocks. And that's making us some cash, but it's not a lot of cash. We can make more cash. So let's go about doing that in our next episode. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Feedback is always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya! Hello, YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Pinstar Plays Weedcraft Incorporated, episode 2. So, in our last episode, we got through the base tutorial part of the game, where they task you with some of the basics. We've now been given an extra $20,000 on top of the 15 that we have earned, and we got an extra skill point, which we actually have 2 because we didn't spend our first one. So we've got plenty of things to do. Plenty of ways to go about things. So let's analyze the market, because now we've been giving one new strain of weed. We can also buy new ones, lots of strains of weed, but also there's a lot of different customer groups here. So let's take a look. Let's take stock of our new thing, Tropical Bliss. Now it looks like a fairly innocent thing here. I mean, all it's got going for it is tropical flavor and carefreeness. That might be that might seem like a little, but there's some good stuff to it. So first off, we can see who of the baseline patient customers in the city like this, and the number one, tourists. Tourists, they like the tropical flavor. They really, really highly value carefreeness. They put 2 star points on the feeling of carefreeness. They also like energy and mild hallucinations, but Tropical Bliss doesn't have that. But that's okay. They still like it. They also are packing as much as the jocks, so they've got some spending cash, so we can make some good cash from these guys. But if you do a little digging, there's more than just the tourists that are interested in this stuff. So if we look on here, one of the things you can do, just as we added a front business to our tea room here, some of the more advanced front businesses have the ability to add customers to a location. Now, the 2 choices we had for our family home didn't really work, so I'm good with the tea room, even though they don't add customers, because we're not selling at the family home. It's just vagrants and cancer patients, and we can't even get at the cancer patients yet, because we haven't unlocked the option to go legal and medical yet. But they're definitely a consideration for the future. But over here in the marketplace, we're starting to rack up some heat with our 2 dealer spots. And there's a room for a third spot, and there's front businesses. And as we can look down here, there are 3 of them that add whole new groups of customers. So here we've got party people who like floral flavor, and they really care about the flavor. A feeling of euphoria and giggliness, but we don't really have. I mean, there's Maui Wowie and Space Queen, but they only get one of their desires. We don't really have the ability to cater to them. We got the laundromat lockers, which make more regular Joes. There's already one group of regular Joes here, so this would make them as populous as the vagrants. Now there's Granddaddy Purple that really caters to their needs, but we don't own that yet. We could buy it, and actually in some of my test games, I went with the Granddaddy Purple, but I'm gonna go a different approach here. They don't have quite as much money, but it's decent. They're better than the vagrants. But down here we've got the Grifters. Now the Grifters are packing $20. They're a little bit richer than the jocks. Now what do they like? They like Maui Wowie because it's got 2 things here. But they also like Tropical Bliss. They don't love it, but they like it. They like it enough for me to consider going after it. Because if we grow Tropical Bliss, it'll appeal to both the Grifters and especially the tourists. And we already are in a spot where we can kind of get at the Grifters. So let's pursue that angle here. So first things first, let's we got to get ourselves some more growing location. Also, we got to up our game here because we just unlocked a whole bunch of equipment. So let's up our game here. We are going to keep this all as Super Lemon Haze, but now we can put our equipment to use here. So one of the things that we got was we got tier 2 equipment. In this case, the DIY CFL, and I really want this because our current thing also puts out 2 degrees, but this gives us 20 more grams of product. So we want that. How do we get that? We have to upgrade our grow level. So this costs us $6,000 to upgrade our level, but then it'll let us start using more expensive equipment, and I like that. So we're gonna get that level up. Bing. So now we can replace all of these with the high tier stuff and get even more yields every time we harvest. That's going to cost us, but I'm willing to shell out for this. Now, as far as planting goes, I forget. Did we get? Yeah, we didn't unlock the tier 2 planting mediums yet. So these are all going to stay as is. But that means that we can plant here. And since we're going to be getting into planting on building up another location's worth of planting here. Actually, I think what we're going to do here, we want to be able to create the demand first, because without that in place, we need that in there. Now we need to shell out 15 grand to get this place up here. But at the very least, even if we're not going to be immediately selling to grifters, it still counts as a front business. So it still lowers police vigilance here, and that'll keep HQ off our backs. So bada boom, bada bing, and we'll have our employee work on the lowering of that there as well. So now you can see grifters are now part of the mix. In fact, they might start. They might nibble on the Super Lemon Haze. They're not really that into it, but they might throw a few bucks at it. And they have the price point to be able to absorb the cost of that. Actually, do they even like the Super Lemon Haze? Yeah, they're 0.5, so they will spend. 23. Yeah, we don't want them to go to 0 because then they won't buy anything. Yeah, we'll do 23. That's fine. Because they'll still buy. The jocks will still buy at an appreciable rate. We'll be good. And yeah, we got epic tier quality, so that's good right there. And now we're going to be creating even more quantity while we're at it. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to expand. We need to get more growing space, but this is going to cost us some money. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fast forward a little bit here while we grow. I'm going to keep tending to the plants myself, because that way we don't have to hire an employee for it. We'll have our one employee just continuously work on the system here. So I will see you guys on the flip side once we've got a little extra cash under our belt. Okay, so we've gathered enough cash to start our operations here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire a new employee to start tending our plants. Yeah, we'll go for Sophie. Here you go, Sophie. Because you start with a point in that. So she's going to start tending our plant operation over here. I might want to hire 2 people here, just to get her a partner to work with. That way they can make sure their plant production. Because we're going to be expanding our growing operation pretty quickly here. Anybody that's along here that knows how to do plants? No? Well, actually, yeah, Rebecca does. Yeah, we can hire Rebecca. Nothing with that. Also, business. You two keep up with that production. And that way, this whole thing will cook on its own. Like, I won't have to touch it anymore. It won't be quite as efficient, because then we also have to be paying them for that, but they'll be doing the stuff while we focus on. So let's get a grow room going here, because we've got some experimenting to do. So we're back to tier 1 in this location. Oh, wait a minute. So it's cheaper to upgrade the grow before you expand it. There it is. Well, let's one thing at a time. We'll start with these, because I like these as sort of a good starter light. It's a good intermediary. But we're going to go to Tropical Bliss. Now we don't know anything about their soil requirements. I am going to just put them in. Oh, we can just put them in simple soil because it does nothing special, but it does help the quality a little bit. Start growing. Save the plant setup. And now we have to do some experiments on the soil because now we haven't been spoon-fed anything. We don't know what the right temperature is, we don't know what the right humidity is, and we don't know any of the 3 soil types. So we're going to try to do this as efficiently as possible. So we're going to do it scientific method here. Set the top one at 9. This one we're going to keep at a 5. This one we're going to put at a 2, and the other 2 we leave alone because we want them as controls. And then we'll deal with temperature and humidity later. Yeah. Also, we are going to we will eventually be selling Tropical Bliss here instead of the Reggie, so now you can stop yelling at me about it. And the Tropical Bliss, this one we are going to be cranking up. We want you about the same as that because the grifters can pay for it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what the ratings are on each of these, and then find which one's the higher rating, and then just sort of zero in on that. So you are 8 out of 15. Wow, we're starting out pretty high. 9 out of 15. 9 out of 15. Okay, so this one's actually the weaker of those two. So the 9s out of 15s, we can look at our log here. We got the 9% at a rating of a 2 or a 5. So I'm thinking let's narrow it down. So it's probably not a 1, but we can test 1 just to be certain. But we also want to test a 3 and a 4. So one of those is going to have the superior rating for that type. All right, got 9 out of 15. 9 out of 15. 10 out of 15, we have a winner. So the 10 out of 15 is a 3. So the correct answer for nitrogen is a 3. Now we test for the others. Set potassium at 2, not potassium, phosphorus, 2, 5, and 9, because again, we don't know what ballparks we're dealing with here. We will narrow this down, my friends. Narrow it down real good. New competition in the marketplace. Okay. Well, all right. 9 out of 15, 10 out of 15, 10 out of 15. So, not really conclusive here. We got the 2 out of 2 of the 5 here. So I think it's going to be the same kind of range here. So we'll set you to a 4. Set you to a 3. You are already a 2, so we'll use you to check the 1. We'll deal with that competition in a minute here. Okay, so let's see, how did we do here? We got an 11 at a rating of 4, so that allowed us to narrow that in. So phosphorus belongs at 4, so we'll find that. Last thing to check here, 9 and 2. And what are they selling? They're selling Maui Wowie, Super Lemon Haze, and Jawbreaker Kiss. Well, I don't like the fact that they're selling the Maui Wowie because they are poaching our grifters hard. We paid real good money for that too. Gosh darn it. Well, for now they're gonna be eating the market here. It's weaker competition. There's stuff we can do against them soon enough. I'm waiting for one of my employees to gain a level here before we take more aggressive action here. All right, so 10, 11, 11. So let's see here. We got the 2 and a 5. So yeah, this stuff likes it on the lower side. So the 4. I mean, if the 9 one was higher or was the better option here, then we'd definitely go after that one. But there we go. Now, unfortunately, we've run out of waters for this growth period. So we're going to go ahead and let them grow themselves up. So we can harvest these real quick. Get some better quality stuff as we go along. Then we can check the final here. All right, so we've got these growing again. And now let's see how we're doing here. So he's still got us even on that. So let's start dropping the things. See if we can't get some kind of if we can break into. Okay, we're number 2 now. Nope, and then that takes us off the thing here. So we want to be there. So we're at least number 2 on the rankings. Super Lemon Haze were good. Although how are you doing against? Yeah, we're still better Super Lemon Hazing it up over his. So we're still good on that front. All right, so let's go in here. Let's check our final things. 11, 12, 10. Okay, I think we found it. Our magic thing for Tropical Bliss is 344. Excellent. Now let's study temperature. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, I guess we could expand the grow operation. I want to test this. So if we level up the grow right now and then expand, what happens? Are we still at level 2? Yes, we are. So it's actually cheaper to upgrade sooner. Beautiful. All right, well, we're going to get you to the DIY CFL. Now we're going to start getting equipment in here. And we're going to start with the small fan. And we'll also do, well, we'll build the humidifier in a moment. I'm not doing more pots because we're still using these for testing purposes. All right, so we're sitting on 76 degrees. And what was the last one? So temperature 76. Okay, so let's drop you a little bit because we can make it cooler. That makes it a little better. Although, drop it at 74. That makes it a little better. 73. 13. So 74 degrees is our magic number. There's our temperature, folks. Aha! Spencer has gained spirit. Wow, she leveled up before he did. Damn. You smart, Sophie. Well, you're gonna help us out. So one, you're gonna get I'm gonna give her the skill point in growing, so now she's more efficient. But secondly, you're gonna befriend her because we have a couple of things. One, we gotta negotiate her salary. We want to be friends with her, so she's happier with us for that. But two, we have a favor for her to ask of her. So we're gonna play our little mini game here, and they come up with personalities and stuff for every single character in this game. Let's see here. All right, those are 3. We didn't give any free topics, but we can try these. All right, interested in business. Fortunately, that exhausts that topic. Education, good. Family. Fears that her family is in danger. Interesting. All right, yeah, we need to get higher levels to use that. All right, I'm going to risk a tell me about yourself. Backfired on us. All right, well, we're still familiar. We can go back to her later. Let's discuss work because she's going to want us. She's going to want a raise here. So she's at 300. I'm going to give her 150. All right. We'll do the favor once we're friends with her. All right. So let's take a look over here. So let's buy that small room humidifier because now we can play with the humidity here. So humidity has been at 60 this whole time, and we need to probably bump it up or down a little bit. So let's see. I'm going to take a guess. It wants more humidity. Nope. But less humidity. Yes. Ooh. Okay. Now we have the perfect stuff. We actually don't need the humidifier. We do not need it at all. Why? Because we can just drop one thing of freaking what is it here? One thing of peat moss, and that will lower the ambient moisture levels by 1%. And now we don't need to run a humidifier, or I guess in this case a dehumidifier, to lower the humidity level. And yeah, I'm fine with having one growing in peat moss. It's still, the quality's still fine. All right, excellent. Now we can expand. So let's get our setup here. We know, yeah, we still want everything else in the normal pots. Let's get a light here, a proper light. We do want the fan in there because we do need to keep control of the temperature, especially now that we're turning up the heat with some additional items here. All right, Mark finally leveled up, so let's give him some skill points, and also try to befriend him. So you, my friend, are going to get a skill point in selling, and let's talk to you. See if we can't get you on the up and up. Who names their coffee chain after a dead meme? All right, one more freebie chat. All right, business. All right, doesn't care about business. Education. Doesn't care about education. Family? No. Wow, you are a closed book, my friend. You are a closed book. Well, I guess we'll just discuss your raise here. So we'll just give you the 150. Wow. You don't really, you're, okay. And well, by paying them more than I needed to, his motivation went up. That factors into some things. Tell me about yourself. Yeah, all right, never mind. That's a risky one. You can maybe get a freebie out of it, but yeah. All right, but still, we got you leveled up, so that's a good thing. We are building up quite the stockpile of Super Lemon Haze. I think we may want to drop the price a little bit more here, just to get our star rating up a little bit higher. All right, back to our operations here. Yeah. It's going to take a little bit more cash here to get us going to expand properly. But once we have this grow operation fully kitted out and we're saturating the grifter market, then we can actually start taking a shot at our target audience, the tourists. Because I'm going for really high volume here. All right, let's speed things up a little bit here. These things take a little bit longer to grow, but that's okay. We're getting really good quality out of all this here, so next will probably be a step up in quality compared to the first batch that we put out there. All right, we're making money. We're making money. Abe, don't do that to me. Come on. I might want to take out a loan because this is going to require a lot of capital outlay. Yeah, we're gonna let the market decide. Yeah, he don't like me. Competition strength increased. All right, we're gonna have to do something about that. You're annoying me. I prefer not to have to share. So let's see if we can't see if we can't get Sophie back on our side here. We should have our chats renewed. So we can get our 3 chats. We can also revisit a lot of the topics that we know about them. All right, she's friendly. I'm gonna top her off since we're here, because relationships decline over time, and she's now finally able to talk about that. No, okay. I'd like to ask you a favor. Can you convince the competition's customers to buy our product? So basically, ask her to lower the strength. Basically, she's going to be pulling overtime and screwing with the competition, bringing the people in weapon force, basically, at the marketplace, and help me as a friend, above and beyond her current duties. Sure, I'll be happy to help. So we just lost 15% off of their strength because of her.